Hi, this is Sherry Shabowski from Medical Education in Minutes. Today we're going to be talking about T cell maturation and central tolerance. How about a little immunology today? The job of the immune system is to protect the body. It is divided into the innate immune system, or nonspecific inflammatory response, and the adaptive immune system. The adaptive immune system is principally made of lymphocytes, T cells, and B cells. The adaptive immune system functions like a sniper. The job is to destroy very specific targets without collateral damage. This is very different than the innate immune system, which is more like napalm. Napalm was historically used in wars to basically scorch the earth, destroying enemies, friendlies, foliage, fauna, real estate, and everything in its path. The innate immune system is a blunt weapon. It comes in swinging and destroying everything, so the pathogen that has invaded cannot gain a foothold. It is very fast and reacts as soon as the invasion occurs. The adaptive immune system is a bit slower. I mean, it takes time for the sniper to learn everything he needs to know about his target and time to plan the assassination. But when he's ready to go, it's single minded and goes after its target. The snipers are committed to their target for life, and they have a long memory. So if the target invades again, they are ready and waiting to destroy it. Today, we're going to discuss how T cells learn to be snipers without causing collateral damage. T cells, just like all the other hematopoietic cells, originate in the bone marrow. Immature T cells get released into the blood and make their way to the thymus for training camp. When the T cell arrives at the thymus, they receive their T cell receptors and then they go to training camp. The purpose of the training camp is to establish central tolerance. You only want your T cells to destroy damaged, virally infected, or cancerous self cells. They should never destroy healthy self cells. They need to be snipers without collateral damage. These T cells, naive as they are, need to learn how to check IDs. A large part of the job of T cells depends on developing well trained T cell receptors. T cell receptors need to accurately and discreetly move through all the cells in the body and identify their target amongst all of those cells. They check the IDs of all the self cells with their T cell receptors in order to find their target. The ID that we're talking about here is the major histocompatibility complex 1 that is on the surface of all nucleated self cells. It is basically a fingerprint, and all self cells have the same fingerprint. In order to be able to interact with all major histocompatibility complexes accurately and discreetly, they need well trained T cell receptors. In the picture, you see the immature T cell with his little baby T cell receptor checking out the major histocompatibility complex 1 on a thymocyte, which is a self cell. It may not be obvious, but in the picture, you see the artist's rendition of a thumb sticking out to be fingerprinted by the T cell receptor. Here you see the naive T cell at training camp. He is being told that his job is going to be to use his T cell receptor to check all cells' IDs accurately and discreetly. The cytotoxic T cells need to destroy damaged, virally infected, or cancerous self cells. In order to do that, he needs to check fingerprints on normal nucleated cells to see if they are normal or not. In this picture, there is a healthy self cell, and its fingerprint is checked. But when the T cell moves on to the next cell, he finds the fingerprint is not normal. This is a cancer cell. Cancer cells are basically transformed self cells, but they don't have the sense or the ability to put a proper ID on their membrane. When the cytotoxic T cell is checking IDs, it finds it lacking and destroys it. Perforins stick to the cell membrane in a circle and pop a hole in the membrane. Granzymes are introduced into the cell. A little bit of granzyme causes programmed cell death or apoptosis. If a lot goes in, it leads to an expulsion of cell contents, leading to a more dramatic cell death. Well trained T cells are critical to rid your body of abnormal cells and protect normal self cells. Remember here, the T cell's job is to check IDs. All right, now the training is complete, and it's time for the T cells to be tested. You might be surprised how few actually make the cut. Remember, the test is to see if the T cell uses its T cell receptor to accurately and efficiently check IDs. The first candidate is useless because he doesn't even seem to know that he's being tested. He doesn't address the ID, that it's even there, let alone check it with his T cell receptor. Apoptosis or programmed cell death is the result. This candidate gloms onto the thymocyte like he is in love with it. That is not what you want to happen. You don't want snipers all over your self cells. This is negative selection, and this guy must be terminated by programmed cell death. All right, this guy knows what's up. He clearly understands his job and has no problem executing it. He checks the ID with his T cell receptor and moves on. He graduates with honors and is sent into the circulation to protect the body. Well-trained T cells know how to check an ID accurately and efficiently, excuse me. If you're lazy, you fail. If you're too aggressive, you fail. Just a reminder here at the end. Central tolerance is the fundamental immunologic process by which the body eliminates or inactivates developing T and B lymphocytes that react strongly to self antigens. This prevents them from attacking the body's own tissues. All right, little plug here. Thank you so much for listening. At www.medicaleducationinminutes.com, you'll find full courses that cost less than a single textbook, yet deliver far more practical value. Each course is concise, conceptual, and designed to be enjoyable. By the end, you'll have a strong, lasting framework of medical knowledge that you can confidently build on. You can also access us on Facebook at Medical Education in Minutes, as well as YouTube, Medical Education in Minutes. All right, thanks for learning with me, and I'll see you next time.